Oh,
Hi, everybody. Sorry, I'm a little disorganized today. Kelly and I are here to talk about the new moon. And I just want to say something really quick before we get going. The energies are starting to smooth out just a little bit. So everything's calming down just a little right now. A lot of people have been emailing me and asking for individual sessions, which I do not do anymore. So if you want to get into one of my groups, I will put all the websites below. I have four because three of the groups are with other people. And I have programs on my website. Like if you need something, it's available to you, but I don't do individual sessions anymore.
there are a
So,
lot of good programs you have on there, honey, from
yeah.
developing your tuition to the breaking agreements, a lot of stuff that's very practical at the
Mhm.
moment. Hmm.
Yeah, it's very needed at the moment and I don't think a whole lot of people have kind of self-serve so you can go in and just get guided to do things. But anyway, I hope that helps you guys. And I just wanted to reiterate that because there seems to be some confusion about it. Okay, so I'm excited because the energies have been wild and they're just beginning to calm down. So I'm excited to hear what the new moon is bringing us, Kelly, our favorite astrologer.
And I'm still doing some individual sessions. So if you need,
Yeah.
and like the astrology especially, but I can translate. So
Yes.
any the new moon is in Sagittarius, and it's one of the more uplifting moons, because it's a very positive sign generally. Sagittarius is a fire sign. It's like, okay, we can do it kind of sign. It's the truth seeker. So anyway, let me show you some of the graphics then we'll look at today. And kind of take it from there. And speaking of which, I did find this beautiful. I don't know if it was on your Telegram, honey, that image there, but I just love it, and it's so perfect because there is a Sagittarian archer drawing the bow and arrow, getting ready to,
Mhm.
aim for the stars. And if anyone knows who did this, I'd love to know, because I like to give credit, but I just couldn't resist using this because it's so appropriate.
And
So
pretty.
here is the new moon chart, and we have the sun and moon in Sagittarius down here at 9.5 degrees of Sagittarius, which gives us this image, a theatrical presentation of a golden-haired goddess of opportunity, which is even more why I wanted to use this image. So this gives us an image. They're called Sabian symbols that represent the energy of the particular degree. So this new moon has this storyline behind it that is really quite delicious and very uplifting, because the goddess of opportunity also can mean, abundance and all the good things in life. And that's what Sagittarius is about. It is really about positive mindedness. Now, let me note right here that Mercury, which is the planet of the mind and how we speak, is also in Sagittarius, and it's gone retrograde, which means it's going backwards just a couple of days ago. So we have 3 weeks of time where Mercury is going to go back over things. And I think this is part of what's going on in the larger picture, that we are getting a different perspective now that the planet Pluto is in Aquarius. We're getting a different perspective on things. And it's going to be very useful for the Mercury retrograde to allow us time to kind of see where we've been, look at what's gone on, just put things in perspective. And then Sagittarius is aiming that arrow and moving forward. But sometimes just a back look is like, I'm going to move forward from that. Or, yes, that was a good thing. Let me move forward on that. So Sagittarius is a very forward moving energy. And this is the typical image we see of Sagittarius. That's a centaur, half horse, half man, with that bow and arrow there. And I like the crown. He's right near the southern crown. And you can see behind Sagittarius is Capricorn, the sea goat.
Mm,
Uh, so, so Sagittarius is a fire sign, which is motivation, energy. Um, and the archer is that, aiming forward. What are you aiming for? What is the vision? Sagittarius is very goal oriented. And I, as a Sagittarian myself, I used to not be able to get in the car unless I knew where I was going because I had to know where I was going. And I've gotten a little easier about byways and highways, but nevertheless, what is your goal? And if you can pinpoint that this is the opportunity of the year on the moon cycle in Sagittarius. And typically Sagittarius aims pretty high. And sometimes it can aim a little so far, it's like, oh, is that ever going to happen? So sometimes shorter goals can be useful, but I don't think so this time. I think we want to have a vision of what we want to really be experiencing
mhm,
and work with it because, we'll see how Neptune, the dreamer sign, is a planet is moving into. So Sagittarians are intuitive, inspirational. There's that motivation energy and the visionary. These are basic things that Sagittarius is about. And it loves adventure, it loves to travel. It's a sign that can't sit still for too long. It likes to be on the move. It's a sportsy sign. Um, and one of the basic meanings of Sagittarius is the truth seeker and the truth speaker. And it's looking for the meaning of life and what is true for everyone, not just people in this country or of that religion. What is the universal meaning of life? And these are questions that we can be really contemplating now as we look forward to what we might want to be experiencing in the new year coming up and beyond, this new era that we're in, since Pluto has changed sign, which it did just on November 19th. So, okay, we're now in this new energy field. And again, getting a perspective on where we've been can be helpful. Now, Jupiter is the planet, the big planet that rules Sagittarius. And where is Jupiter now? Jupiter is in Gemini. And if, anyone who's been looking at our last couple of videos has seen this pattern following, because we've been in this pattern now of red lines, which make 90-degree angles and are activating lines, dynamic lines. Step up and work with this energy is what they're saying. And Jupiter is right in one of the hubs. And it's in Gemini, which is the opposite sign to Sagittarius. So Gemini gathers a lot of pieces of the puzzle, a lot of different information, various points of view, and it questions a lot, and it's willing to listen to any point of view, but then it takes all those pieces and brings it back like bees take all the nectar and pollen from the flowers and brings it back to the hive. So Sagittarius is the hive where all the information gets distilled and synthesized, and we get the honey of the truth. We get the what is true for me, what is my intuition telling me is really true, and to listen to your intuition, because often Sagittarius will say, I should have listened to myself. And this is one of those times where your mind can pick up on this different level of instant knowing. It's like Sagittarius feels like an instant response to truth, like a bell rings or a gong goes off. And it's like, yes, and trust that, go with that. So, there are ways to develop your intuition, like Honey has on her website. And this would be a good month to kind of work with that and start to trust your intuition more. It's a different kind of energy than being psychic. It's like more like a knowing, a kind of that bell rings. So, and then Sagittarius wants to speak it. And sometimes it's going to overdo things and put foot in mouth. And it's like, oh my God, I can't believe that came out of my mouth. But the Sagittarius has this drive to to share, to teach, to kind of be a truth teller. So that's Sagittarius energy, and how the Gemini is gathering all the pieces of the puzzle and new points of view and new information coming out. Is this something I can use? Is this something I can work with? And then we have Saturn in the sign of Pisces. And Saturn's changing its energy because it rules Capricorn, which is earth, shape, structure, systems, forms. And Pluto's just gone out of Capricorn. And so to some extent, it has disempowered the Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
And it's moving into alignment with Uranus, which is Aquarius. So Saturn is in Pisces, however, and Pisces is of water. And it does want to consolidate. And how does things feel? And Saturn says you do need to pay attention to how your intuition is working and activating your heart knowledge as well, tuning in. And it wants to help us consolidate all of the energy fields that have been going on, and kind of so we can find our own navigation system to help us through the fluid realities, because reality is very fluid lately. However, this Sagittarius energy is going to help get more clear on what is true and what is not true. And that might be because there's a lot of information coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And there might be because, we are more open. And that's part of what Jupiter in Gemini is about, being open to different information. And then here's the other corner. We talked about this last time too. And this is Orcus, who's the oath keeper, the oath maker, and the oath breaker. And so I'd like to read, if it'll come up for me, a bit of a poem by David White, who's a wonderful Irish poet. And he wrote a poem called All the True Vows. And it goes like this. Hold on, it's coming up. Come on, computer.
You can do
I
it.
might have to paraphrase, but it's about all the true vows are the ones. Here we go. Good. All the true vows are secret vows. The ones we speak out loud are the ones we break. There is only one life you can call your own, and 1,000 others you can call by any name you want. Hold the truth you make every day with your own body. Don't turn your face away. Hold to your own truth at the center of the image you were born with. And then the poem goes on, but I wanted to share that section because, we are in the moon cycle of the truth seeker and all the true vows. What is true for you? And getting back to that essential inspirational hub we have, because our soul lights up when it recognizes the truth or recognizes what's not true for me. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of questioning about belief systems, and that's going to be, enhanced by the Mercury retrograde. So we've been looking at this, and every time I posted this square, I've been giving different energy, because last full moon, Mercury was also in Sagittarius. And then the one before that, the new moon before that, Venus was here. And now we have the sun and the moon both here at this pivotal point, which is helping us get our sense of direction. And then Mercury is there too, retrograde, and it's going to go circle this whole area. It's going to be activating this whole dynamic, which can feel like a merry-go-round or a roller coaster or a juggling balls. I mean, this is very movable, changeable energy. So this is what you were saying at the very beginning, honey, how the energy's been pretty wild.
Mhm.
And it's a little hard to keep up with it because
Yeah.
something else happens and something else comes in. So this is, we're working with this dynamic for a while yet. So, make it be an adventure.
Yeah.
And don't get too stuck on what you want to happen. But keep going in the direction that your inspiration calls to.
Mhm.
So, now one of the reasons this new moon is so uplifting is because we've got planets in all of the fire signs. So here we have the fire sign of Sagittarius, and here we have the fire sign of Aries. And in Aries, we have the dragon head, which is our collective call to what we are doing. We are finding a new path forward. We are inventing. We are, just called to really explore new territory, really fresh new territory. We can't go with what's been happened before. The bridge has burned. So we're on to new initiatives. And we're being guided by Salacia, who is the mermaid who makes the sunlight sparkle on the sea. And she brings in a lot of the plasma energy light that's been coming into our system and through the whole solar system and lights it up. So it's like, yes, that's the way to go. I'm following my star. I'm following the shimmering. I'm following what really excites me. And so that's, part of what we have in Aries. And then in Leo, Leo is the radiance of the sun and the courage and the heart to create. It's a very creative sign. And so part of what it's saying is, who are you really? Who are you really? And there is Mars, the planet of energy and action. And Mars is about to go retrograde next weekend on December 6th or 7th. We've got a lot of switching of directions going on in a week from now. And
Mhm.
Mars is stopping. It's like, okay, that's as far as we're getting right now, everybody. It's a bit spicy and it's going to stay spicy for a bit here, but here's the creative energy, work with it. And it's influenced by this, which is like Salacia, one of the new planetoids in the Kuiper belt that is kind of a lot of space past Pluto, where they're discovering all of these new astronomical, like little bodies. And Varuna is the ancient Vedic god, who is the god of universal law and cosmic order. And I have a little couple of pictures here to help you visualize more of who these helpers for this moon cycle are. So there's Salacia. She's the ocean goddess. She married Neptune, so she's queen of the ocean. And she brings in that shimmering solar and galactic light that is lighting us up and bringing in these new frequencies. And Varuna is also the god of waters, all of the waters above and the waters below that the Bible talks about, and
Mhm.
the waters in our own bodies. And that he's directing this show. He's like, you work with me, create with me what is in alignment with universal law. And so that is very, and Sagittarius is really interested in law and what is true and what is true for all of life. What are those universal laws that are true for everyone? And there's a kind of level of morality to this too. So this is a really wonderful, uplifting energy that's bringing the truth and justice forward, let us say. And now I want to mention that there's this Mercury retrograde, and I love the numbers. It's at 20 degrees, 20 minutes Sagittarius. So Mercury's at 2020, and it's in a beautiful alignment with Chiron, the teacher healer. Now, Chiron is getting ready. It's been retrograde. It's been retrograde for a couple of months, and it's getting ready to turn around. So it's at this degree, it's almost 20, and its image is a large white dove bearing a message. And it's staying in this degree from this new moon all the way through the whole moon cycle and even into January. So we have this large white dove bearing a message. And the dove is often a bird of peace. And so I think this is just another beautiful augur of this moon, of what we're going to be learning more about, of the grace coming in, of peace coming in, getting back to universal law and proper ways of living together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you have some comments on all that, honey.
Well, I will say with the fourth density kind of peeling away, it's been hanging on really hard, almost like a bad relationship. Like it's been hanging on really hard and making a lot of messes for people.
Yeah.
So, and also I noticed that a lot of big companies have been behaving badly. That's what I'll say. So, in ways that you would think like that's creating a lot of karma.
Mm.
So, a lot of the 3D systems have been behaving in almost more of a heinous behavior than we've noticed for a while. It's like it increased and now it's starting to even out again. So things are starting to calm down again because fourth density is truly starting to be extracted, So it was like 2 layers, and now that layer is far enough away, and also it doesn't have its fingers in the 5D as much anymore. So it's truly being pulled away. But we've felt a lot of discord and craziness through this process over the last couple of weeks. And I'm excited because the old energies are going to get cleaned up. Everything's being exposed in a kind of blatant way now. I guess there's a new, like, I don't know if it's a stand-up comedy, but it's from Joe Rogan and it's going to be on Netflix, or it's already there. And there is exposure in that's kind of amazing. So
what the name is?
No, it's a Joe Rogan experience on Netflix. So it's like probably a 2 hour thing. And I did put a clip on Telegram. So I was like, wow, that's some pretty interesting things. And what he's doing is he's putting all the information together that we've been kind of talking about for a very long time that you can't really say on YouTube yet, but he put it out on Netflix. So things are really heating up at the moment. And I think that shows that things are about ready to fall. Yeah. So, and the whole Saturn thing, those old systems have been hooked into Saturn, and Saturn is going to shift.
Yes, absolutely. So I've been coming across the word cacophony a lot somewhere on that word. And that's where everything's happening at once and there's a lot of noise and it's all very confusing and it's like that. So, there's that going on. But like I said, now that we're clearly in Pluto in Aquarius, Saturn doesn't have the old systems don't have the power they did before. It's just starting to like almost dissolve. And let's see. Looking back at Saturn for a minute. Wait, we'll move on. We can move on and still see that. Hold on a second here. Okay, so here we go. So Saturn is in Pisces. We just talked about that a bit, and that the old systems are dissolving. That's what Pisces does. It just melts into this, it's like a drop of water melting into the sea, or putting an ice cube in the water and it just melts away.
Oh yeah.
And so Saturn is the form and structure, and they're just like melting away. They're dissipating, they're dissolving. And we have Neptune also in Pisces, which is one of the rulers of Pisces, and it's been there since 2012, and it's about the collective dream. Neptune moves slowly, 165 years to go around the sun and through all the zodiac signs. So it's just about to leave Pisces, but it's still working with this Mercury retrograde to say, like John Lennon, you may call me a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. And so are you a dreamer too? And what are we dreaming? What is a dream that we can all feel inspired by, which is the Sagittarian energy.
Mhm.
And we can each have this vision, and as we're all imagining the same things, it's starting to get more true. It's starting to, we're starting to influence this fluid reality even more. And then at the end of March next year, just a few months, Neptune is moving into Aries, which is the fresh newness. It's like, wow. It's like the dream is anew, it's refreshed, it's like a restart. And
Mhm.
then right after that, in May, Saturn goes into Aries. And Saturn is going to be with Neptune, and Neptune's going to dissolve more of that old Saturn stuff even more. And Saturn's going to kind of find a new light.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, the new way forward is the way, everybody. Don't get distracted by the old stuff. And this is even more about moving into forward rather than going back. We have some backwards energy right now, and part of it's helpful, like I said about the Mercury retrograde. We have some time to look back and check where we've been. And Chiron is turning forward right where it was on that April 8th eclipse this past spring, or winter or fall if you were in the southern hemisphere. So it's
Mhm.
it's it's tapping back to the energy of that very powerful April 8th eclipse. So that's also very interesting. And whatever we've been healing ever since then, in the powerful shift that an eclipse can make, we're now becoming more aware of what's coming out and how we're going to move forward. We'll still have some stuff to work out, some people more than others, depending on belief systems and how all the new information is being processed. But
Mhm.
this is a significant part of the Mercury retrograde being influenced by Neptune, which can be illusion, delusion, confusion, but also can be that inspirational dream that as the Aboriginal peoples talk about it, that's where the real life begins. That's where the vision begins. It starts there, and then how can we bring it into reality? And it won't be the old way. It's going to have to be a new way.
Mhm.
It's like being pioneers. And who knows, the Starship Enterprise may take off again. um, and here's I want to say too that didn't you say on some video or other that the Jetsons movie's coming out, another Jetsons movie?
Yeah, and I'm kind of bummed because I guess it was like a teaser and
Oh,
they weren't actually, it wasn't a preview.
oh,
So I don't know what they were doing, if they were testing it or what. But one thing that's really cool is that in May, you were saying that Saturn goes into
Aries.
Aries. Yeah. And that's also when that World's Fair starts. And that lasts for an entire year. So the things that are revealed there will most likely be world changing.
Mm-hmm.
And all
Mm-hmm.
the things that have been hidden are going to slowly come out through that process. So,
Yes,
yeah,
and
it's
that's
super
part of the
cool.
Neptune into Aries as well, because if Neptune is illusion, it's like the veil of illusion, and Aries is let's just get
Mhm,
clear about it. Let's just pull that back and look at something collective and larger than any one of us.
mhm,
Yeah. So that, and you know, that's a transitional energy. We have a lot of transitional energies next year. You know, it was like, oh, well, Pluto's made it into Aquarius, but we've got more to go yet. But at least a lot has been like the old stuff, the old systems, the corrupt stuff is definitely being disempowered.
mhm,
And here, so here's Pluto. Now, Pluto is in a little alignment here of Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, abundance, our values. And it's in Capricorn right now. So she's about what has long-term value. And Venus is the money planet. And it's right next to Ceres, the mother goddess, Gaia energy. And so the two of them together is basically suggesting a um, well, it's also got this positive energy with Uranus. It's like, and it's in earth signs. This is like happening. This is like putting our hands on valuable assets.
mhm.
This is what's good for the well-being of all. And I mean all earth beings. And that's part of what Capricorn is about on its essential level. It's not about corporate. It's
No.
about the laws of the earth. It's about Varuna energy. It's about what is cosmic law? How are we supposed to be living with natural law in relation to earth energy? And so this is promoting that. This whole thing is promoting that with the help of Uranus, the change agent. I think I've got a better slide for this. Is that true? Yes, here we go. So Uranus and Taurus, and it's getting ready to leave Taurus. So it's finishing up its business like Pluto just did. And it's saying, okay, let's redo this whole bigger financial picture because it hasn't been working for the people, for the common good, for natural abundance, for global transformation. This energy is very powerful. And in the next week, Venus and Ceres are both going to move into Aquarius and join Pluto. So we saw that Mars is going to go retrograde in a week. These two planets are going to get together with Pluto and really create a boom effect that is moving us into the new social dynamic that we are entering. And we have, what else is going on there? Yeah. Oh, Venus conjunct Pluto. Yeah, that is very powerful goddess energy. She's taken over. So yeah, this is all pretty strong. And it's on the next, so that's next weekend. That's like the 6th, 7th, 8th of December. And then we have the next weekend there's a full moon on the 15th, and Mercury turns forward. So we have a lot of forward moving energies coming in. Mars is retrograde. It's like, don't move too fast. Really think about if what you want to create is in universal harmony and universal order. Is this good for everybody? and how can we create together is part of the question that Aquarius answers. Who are the people that you want to be creating with, that you share a vision with? There's the bigger vision, but they're all the short-term goals that get us there. They're all of the visions of different groups and different nations and different cultures that are all contributing to this.
Mhm.
So that's I think this is a beautiful new moon.
It seems like it, yeah. Really
Yeah,
does. And the color of this lady, this archer, that feels like the color that's coming in. Like we're gonna
absolutely.
see a lot of people are finally gonna be starting to see that they're gonna be supported, I think. And that has to do with the fourth density energy going, being completely revealed and starting to leave. That's going to create, well, we don't want that anymore. We want to be supported and we want to live a
A new
beautiful
moon,
life.
a
Hmm.
new moon invites a cosmic request, and you can make a cosmic request, and I made one not too long ago that was answered almost immediately. And so it can be like, any help in letting go of something that is pulling you down, or more on the positive side, moving forward with confidence and freedom and joy, in
Yeah.
fact. So and yeah, this is what is beautiful. What is beautiful to you? The earth has such beauty, and that's part of Venus and Capricorn. These sacred geometries that nature grows by, which brings in the great harmonies and of fine architecture and fine art and fine music. This is all the light and sound that brings manifestation into being. These are the frequencies, and we can start to hear the finer frequencies when we're moving away from that cacophony.
Hmm. Yeah. That's a great word for fourth density. Chaos.
Yes,
Uh,
indeed,
love it.
indeed. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, this moon is just so inspirational, so uplifting, and this is, even though Mars is retrograde, that doesn't mean we aren't moving forward. It's just be heart centered, because Leo rules the heart, and courageous about what it is that you are creating and how you're loving. Love guides it all. Love makes the world go round. So
Mhm.
that's also bring love into everything. And if you aren't, stop and recalibrate. We've got to keep checking our frequencies. So
Yeah. Well, and I think the energies of Mars and Saturn have been kind of the rulers of the third density, and they're both going into retrograde. So to me, that's like it's time to recalibrate things.
yeah, yes.
And these are
Well,
big beings. Yeah.
Saturn is getting ready to move forward, actually.
Hmm.
We see it at 12 degrees here, and been at 12 degrees almost all of November, all of December, and it turns forward when? When does it turn forward? Um, it did. So sorry. It turned forward. It's just moving very slowly.
Good.
Yeah, sorry. That was November. I think the last full moon, Saturn turned forward. So it's like, again, but it's moving very slowly. It's like, okay, be careful, don't slip on that ice, don't,
Mhm.
don't, don't let somebody, kind of throw water in your face. It's like, really be tuning into the finest frequencies and moving carefully forward with that. And it's the old way of doing Saturn is no longer in gear.
Mm-mm.
So that's what we're doing with the slow movement and even though we're in a fast-paced, lots going on thing, it's still like, what do you want to do? Keep considering that question. What do you want? What does your energy want? What does your heart want? Truly and deeply.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. And be in what's that word I'm looking for? Be intentional. And that's part of that's part of our like maturity, as creator beings.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, we really are being given a lot of opportunities to say no to things.
That
And
part's really,
that, is huge.
yeah.
And as we say no, then it will shift out of our reality. So be aware of that. If something keeps coming up for you,
Mm,
if you give into it, it will stay. If you
mm.
say no, then it will shift out. We're at a
Yeah,
pretty
that's
big change
Saturn
point.
can do that. Saturn's about saying no. It's like, this is not what I want anymore. And
Mhm.
I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to go toward the fear. So it's like you say no to yourself when you go back, you slip backwards, but it's also, no, this is not for me. No, I don't think that is true for me. It's
Mhm.
just like, and that's like the stepping stones forward with this new energy that's coming in pretty strongly. And if we really find the groove, we can ride that current.
Yeah, it's time to let go of the old stuff. It's time to let go of the chaos. And it's time to move into a smoother, more fun period of time. And that's what's going to help people that have been unawakened and now are in the process of awakening. That's what's going to help them feel supported enough to
Yeah.
actually complete their awakening process. So, those that have taken a really long time and then they're just starting now, they may have needed this process to be more
Yeah.
smooth. Yeah.
Yeah, it
So,
is a process. And you can't just jump into it. When things go into Aries, that's another matter. And there's a certain amount of jumping in we need to be doing, but
mhm.
it's also like I have 3 people in my life who have made big changes just recently.
Yeah.
Like somebody's moving from a house she lived in for 16 years and she's in a completely different situation now.
Mhm.
Somebody I know, she made a move and then got laid off. And so she's going to have a whole new life when when this process of tuning in brings forth the manifestation. And in the meantime, enjoy, and be exploring where you're at in the moment, which is one of the best strategies when Chiron is like that, be here now and aligning. It's going to point out where you're not aligned spiritually, mentally, emotionally, or physically. And it's going to point that out and say, okay, your mind is getting a little whacked out here. Like drop into your heart and realign. And also your body can let you know where you're not aligned. The body parts have resonance with certain emotional states or old wounds, and how do we heal those? So we're still doing some of that work, and that's kind of an ongoing thing to bring ourselves into more and more higher, finer alignment.
Mhm. Beautiful. I love it, Kelly. This is
I
a
do.
fabulous reading for the next 2 weeks. So,
I think it's a beautiful, beautiful new moon.
mhm.
Yeah.
I love
So,
it.
well, let's all make it good together.
Yes. Yeah. We're going to be doing a lot of work in Europe, and I hope that you're all just kind of tapped into this new energy and
Mm.
you carry it throughout your day. the energy of change.
Beautiful things
Yeah.
about Saturn and Pisces, or and the Pisces energy in general, is it's such a kind sign.
Hmm.
Mm. So kindness is one of the most beautiful
Yeah.
um, aspects of what we can be experiencing and radiating.
Love it. Thank you. Thank you so much. And
Oh.
thank you, Kelley. And I hope that you guys all have a beautiful 2 weeks. I will have a few videos coming out, but and I will keep in touch. So, and if you are interested in a reading, then Kelley's information is below. So
And I'll be posting more on Substack along the way as well.
awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks,
Bye.
everybody. Bye.